early in July, a bunch of the sales dried up, and I was thinking to myself, you know what, Amazon, you cheapskate, you're pumping up all the prices just so you can drop them on Prime Day and fool us all into thinking you're giving us a great deal. But it turns out, I think it was just a little bit of a reset. Post 4th of July, people are out on the beach. Nobody was buying anything or shopping. They're enjoying their freedom. And here we are on July 9th, and the deals are insane. If you have been thinking about trying to drop money on an affordable gaming PC, I have got the perfect setup for you. This is one of the best $1,000 builds I've seen available. And I'm going to walk you through it today, part by part, and why we've selected what we have, and any slight changes we could based on personal preference do. But before we get to it, if you like the content and you want the periodic updates, go ahead and give me a like and subscribe. I'm always doing benchmarks, looking out for good deals, things like that. But let's get into it. So I'm not going to hide anything behind some like fake, false screen to make you watch the whole thing to see what the build is. This is the build here, but I am going to walk you through it. So I've talked about this before when I've talked about sales. A majority of the cost of your PC is going to be in two parts, your CPU and your GPU. And sometimes CPUs go on sale, and sometimes GPUs go on sale. It's always a rare moment when your CPU and GPU are simultaneously on sale, and that's when you want to strike with your PC build. So what we're looking at today, previously, if you were going for a very budget build, you had to drop down to AM4 or go with an older generation. We're finally to the point now. I think we're seeing some great sales on the AM5 because we're about to have the 9000 series drop. And you might be thinking like, oh, I should hold out for the 9000 series. My personal take on that, I think the 9000 series is going to be, about 15% faster or something. However, it's going to reset all the prices to MSRP. So right here, first thing on the list, we're going with the AM5 setup, Ryzen 5 7600X, $171, and that's through Amazon Direct. It's not some scammer on there posting up a fake, item for sale. Amazon is going to directly ship you a 7600X for $171.50. That is a killer deal. If you wait for, the 9600X to come out, I bet you it's going to be, 15% faster if that's your bottleneck, which it probably won't be. And it's going to reset the price probably to $299. So almost double the price for 15% more. I think you'd be much smarter to strike now at these killer sales and get you a current gen part on an upgradable platform. So that's the first thing. We already jumped in. CPU, we're going to be looking at the Ryzen 5 7600. That's a 6-core, 12-thread, and all of the Ryzen processors are unlocked, so you can do a little bit of overclocking, a little bit of PBO, get you an undervolt on there with your curve optimizer. Those things run great. They're easy to cool, and the 6 cores is all you need for gaming. So this whole thing is highly gaming focused. It would still be a great computer for anything, but very gaming focused. That 7600X at 171 is a killer deal. So just going down from there, the cooler, the Thermalright Peerless Assassin, that's been beat like a dead horse. It is the value cooler for $33. It's absolutely going to keep that 7600X cold as ice. It's going to have no trouble there. And it's not really a sale. That thing never really goes on sale. It's always about $33 through Amazon, but it's tried and true, the cheap option. It fits right in on our budget build. Next up, the motherboard. Once again, this is pretty average pricing, but like I said, what we're shooting for is that CPU, GPU sale. So I went with the Asrock B650. You could really save a little bit of money here if you don't need Wi-Fi. You could drop down to a non-Wi-Fi board. If you do like Wi-Fi, I see people always wanting Wi-Fi these days for some reason. I don't know why. I plug everything into a freaking Ethernet cable, but I guess I'm just a dying breed or something. But the Asrock, they've really come up in the world. Great brand these days. The B650, that's the chipset in my opinion to have. It's going to be $140. That's just a fine deal. Down to memory, 2x16, so 32 gigs total of the DDR5 6000 CL30. For a 7000 series AM5 setup, that is just the standard. Don't buy anything else. Don't buy 5600, don't buy 6400, don't buy CL40, CL36, just get the 6000 CL30. It works 100% of the time. It runs great. It's where the value is. You look at that, $94.99. I think there was one cheaper option, Silicone Power, for 92. I've used a little bit of the Silicone Power products, and I've never had bad luck with them. I just have used a ton of Teamgroup products, and they're my value cheap pick. I find that they're usually within $1 to $2 of the cheapest available product, and they just run well. I've never had any problems. Silicone Power might be just as good. I don't know. I just have never used them as much, and I know Teamgroup is good. So for the $94.99 for 32 gigs of DDR5, no question in my mind. A couple months ago, we would have never gotten this sub $100, much less probably sub $120. So that's a killer deal. For our storage, I'm going with, once again, the Teamgroup. This is a great sale. The T-Force G50. I believe that's a TLC chip on there, and it's PCIe 4 for $60. This is one thing I'd say, depending on your budget, I like to try to get 2 terabytes on there, but 2 terabytes is going to be about $100 to $120. The goal here is we're trying to get this whole build in for $1,000. So we went with 1 terabyte, and that's something that's always expandable. 1 terabyte's going to get us started. It's going to hold, 5 to 10 games or something. And then if we need more later, we can always add it in. And it seems like the price of storage is almost always coming down. So, maybe in the future it'll be even cheaper. And then this is the next huge component, the video card. So the XFX RX 6800. This is not the 6800 XT. 6800 XTs have been almost exclusively sold out, or it's been like a niche model that's just wildly overpriced. And at that point, you should be looking at current gen, going with a 7000, like a 7800 XT or something like that for cheaper. But the 6800 has been coming down, down, down in price. And if you look up the performance of this, the 6800 is right about on par with the 7700 XT. But it gets you that 16 gigs of VRAM if you're worried about that. And in certain titles, it's almost always at least matching the 7700 XT, it seems like. And then in certain titles where that VRAM helps out, it's actually a little bit faster. So the fact that it's $349, it's coming in $50 cheaper than the 7700 XT, and you're getting 16 gigs of VRAM. I've been preaching for a while now that the 750 XT for $299 is the best bang for the buck value for 1440p or high FPS 1080p. But that's when the 6800 was still closer to $400. Now it's creeping down. We're in that mid 350. For me, the $50 is worth it. I'm going to make the jump to go to the 6800 and score that 16 gig video card. And this thing is going to kick ass for 1440p gaming. So that's pretty much all the hardware that I've got going into it. And then the next thing up, I want to talk what I'm really excited about is this Lian Li A3 Micro ATX case. I have not personally gotten my hands on one of these yet, but spoiler alert, it's in the mail. I am really excited about this thing. I've been getting really into the smaller builds. I've done a couple mini ITX builds lately. I put one up on the channel as my value console replacement. But I've done a few. I've done 3 in the last month of these mini ITX, and I know this is micro ATX, which is a little different. But this Lian Li is only about, I think, 26 liters, which is pretty small for micro ATX. And the most impressive part about it is it boasts it can do a 360 millimeter radiator for your AIO. So I am just pumped to do a build in this case and see, if this is a nice middle ground of it's not quite that mini ITX tiny compact build, but it's definitely a small size build that I can pack a lot of punch in. So super pumped for that case. I think it just came out like within the last month, I'm pretty sure. So that's a brand new, and it's very subdued. There's no glass. It's all mesh. You don't have to worry about RGB or being like Gamer Boy or whatever. It's just going to look really nice, kind of plain. Not plain. I mean, it's got some nice style to it, but it's just mesh all the way around. It's got a very just, textured line front. It's got all your standard connectors. I'm just over the moon about trying to build in this thing. And I will tell you, if you go to PC Part Picker is great, but I always try to back it up because right now it says this case is only available through Andorama. I've personally never shopped there, but if you do go to Newegg or Amazon, they actually have it a little bit cheaper. So that's what I did is I just manually adjusted. I think when I purchased it on Newegg, it was $69.99 for the black one. And I went and rechecked. It might be through a third-party seller right now. I'm assuming maybe they're kind of running low on stock because that's why it's running out on PC Part Picker. But it's got it for $71.44 on Newegg right now. That's why I snatched one up as fast as I could because I was like, before these things sell out, I got to get my hands on one so I can take a look at it firsthand. And then for the power supply, really here I was just trying to get a quality model that's going to get me in at the $1,000. So for this build, I selected the Gigabyte 750 gold modular. It's gold rated. It's from a brand I trust. It's modular. I don't know where it falls out on the Coltis website or whatever. I didn't check, but it comes in at $80, and that puts our total for this build at $1,001.78, which is absolutely a crazy deal. I don't have the actual benchmarks done, but I am so confident in this build that I ordered it. It's in the mail. I'm going to build this thing, and I will get up on the channel, get some benchmarks going in it, and we'll see how it performs overall. But I'm confident for $1,000 that this is the best bang for the buck you can get. And if you've been on the fence and you're trying to put together a great value build at about that $1,000 mark, this is a great deal to strike on. And you can change the case. You can even save a few bucks there. You can maybe take that money, buy 2 terabytes of storage. You can manage it however you want. But when I decided how to build it, this is exactly what I chose. And I'll have it put together probably in a week. So I don't know how fast I'll be able to get the content up on that, but if you, the sales will probably be gone by the time I got the performance recorded. So just take my word on it. But this is a solid build, and coming in at $1,000 even is absolutely unreal. So hopefully you enjoyed it. I think this is going to be the best sale of the month. I don't know. I could be wrong. Prime Day might even wipe the floor with this, but I think it's going to be hard to beat this. You might be able to get a deal on, maybe some storage or something, but these are pretty killer prices. So once again, if you like the content, you want the updates or anything else, just go ahead and subscribe down below, but have a great rest of your day and good luck building.